Hi, welcome back to Concierge CPA. I am Juliette. Today we are breaking down adjusting entries, one of the most important steps in accrual accounting and a must for staying GAAP and IFRS compliant. You see, both GAAP and IFRS require accrual-based accounting, which means transactions must be recorded in the period they actually occur, not when the cash moves. That includes recording expenses in the same period as the revenue they helped generate, and vice versa. This timing principle is what adjusting entries are all about. Adjusting entries are made at the end of an accounting period to ensure your financial statements accurately reflect all revenues earned and expenses incurred during that time. They're not about new transactions. They're about fixing the timing, matching income and expenses to the correct period, even if no money changed hands yet. They always involve at least one income statement account and one balance sheet account because they update either revenue or expenses and the related asset or liabilities. In short, they are how you clean up your books before you finalize your financial statements. These entries are recorded during step 6 of the accounting cycle, right before preparing financial statements. If you are already familiar with the cycle, this will fit right into place. And if you like a refresher on how all the steps connect, I have a separate video that walks you through the full accounting cycle. It's linked in the description for you to check out after this one. So what kind of entries are we adjusting? We got two main categories. Accruals. This is for events that happened but haven't been paid or received yet. Prepaids and deferrals. This is for events you paid or received early but haven't used or earned yet. Today we are covering 5 of the most common entries, and to keep it simple, we're splitting them into 2 groups. Expense-related adjusting entries. This makes sure costs are recorded in the correct period, whether you paid them yet or not. They include accrued expenses, accrued interest, and prepaid expenses. Then we have revenue-related adjusting entries. These make sure your income lines up with when it was actually earned, not just when cash hits the bank. They include accrued revenues and deferred, which is unearned revenue. All right, let's start with expense side and walk through accrued expenses first. These are costs your businesses has already incurred during the period, but you haven't paid for them yet, and you haven't received an invoice. That distinction matters. If an invoice had been received, the expense will be entered into accounts payable. Accrued expenses only exist because there's no invoice yet, so they won't appear in your books unless you record them through an adjusting entry. Here's what to remember. An accrued expense is something you've used during the period but haven't paid for and haven't been billed yet. Because there is no invoice, the expense isn't sitting in accounts payable. It needs to be entered manually through an adjusting entry. Otherwise, it won't be reflected in your financials for the current period. Here's an example. If your employees worked during the last few days of March, but payroll is processed on April 1st, those wages are still a March expense. Even though the payment and reports fall in April, the work was performed in March, and that's when it must be recorded. The same applies to utilities, professional services, or any other obligations where the service has been received but no bill has been issued. And this is the first adjusting journal entry you will record. You will debit expense, wages expense, utilities expense, and you will credit accrued liabilities or wages payables. This entry ensures your income statement reflects the full cost of the period and your balance sheet accurately shows what you owe. The second adjusting journal entry we're going to look at is accrued interest. This occurs when interest has accumulated on a loan or note payable, but the payment hasn't been made yet, and no invoice or formal notice has been issued. Just like accrued expenses, this type of interest won't be recorded unless an adjusting entry is made. Even if no money has changed hands, the interest still needs to be recognized in the period it accrues. Here's our second example. If your business has a loan and the lender calculates interest monthly, interest will continue to build throughout the month, even if the actual payment isn't due until a later date. Let's say interest has accrued through March 31st, but your next loan payment isn't due until April 15th. That March interest is still a March expense. It needs to be recorded in that period. So you will record the following adjusting journal entry. You will debit interest expense and you would credit interest payable. Now let's look at prepaid expenses. This is the third adjusting journal entry we're going to cover. Prepaid expenses are payments made in advance for goods or services that will be used or consumed over time. Because the benefit of the payment extends beyond the current accounting period, it doesn't qualify as an immediate expense. Instead, it's recorded as an asset, specifically a prepaid asset account on the balance sheet. Over time, as the service is used or the benefit is realized, a portion of the prepaid amount must be expensed to reflect what's being consumed during the period. This adjusting process ensures the expense appears in the correct period, matching it with the benefit it received, and prevents overstating assets or understating expenses. For example, your business pays $6,000 in January for a 12-month insurance policy. At the time of payment, the full amount is recorded as prepaid insurance, an asset. At the end of each month, 1/12 of that amount, $500, is recognized as insurance expense. So the adjusting journal entry related to the prepaid expense is you debit insurance expense, you credit prepaid insurance. This process applies to other prepayments as well, like rent, software subscriptions, or service contracts. It ensures that expenses are recorded in the period when the related benefit is actually received. So we've covered the adjusting entries related to expenses, those that ensure costs are recorded in the correct period, whether payment has been made or not. Now we will shift our focus to the revenue side. There are two key revenue-related adjusting entries: accrued revenues and deferred or unearned revenues. Let's begin with accrued revenues. Accrued revenues represent income that has been earned during the accounting period, but has not yet been billed or payment received. This typically happens when services are performed or goods are delivered near the end of a period, but the invoice is issued later. Since the work is complete, the revenue must be recognized, even if the client hasn't been invoiced or you haven't received payment yet. Without an adjusting entry, that revenue will be missing from the current period's income statement. So here's an example. If you complete a $3,000 consulting project on March 31st, but you don't send the invoice until April 5th, because the service was performed in March, the revenue must be recorded in March. So your adjusting journal entry would be, you would debit accounts receivable and you would credit your service revenue. This entry ensures the revenue is matched to the period it was earned, and your financials reflect the work that was actually completed during the month. And the last adjusting journal entry we'll cover in this video is deferred revenue, also known as unearned revenue. While accrued revenue deals with income that has been earned but not yet billed, deferred revenue is the opposite. It's payment received before any work has been done. Let's take a closer look at how it works and what triggers it. Deferred revenue or unearned revenue arises when a business receives payment before delivering goods or services. This creates a timing issue. You've been paid, but you haven't earned the income yet. Since no product has been delivered and no service has been performed, the revenue cannot be recognized. Instead, the payment creates a liability, an obligation to either perform the service or deliver the goods. That obligation stays on your balance sheet until you fulfill it. The trigger for recording deferred revenue is receiving cash in advance before any work has been done. Let's say your business receives a $1,500 payment in March for a 3-month consulting package starting in April. At the time of payment, no service has been delivered, so the $1,500 isn't revenue, it's unearned. The initial journal entry when cash was received would have been you debited cash and you credited unearned revenue. Then, as the work is completed, each month, 1/3 of the revenue is recognized. Your adjusting journal entry is to debit the unearned revenue and to credit the service revenue. This approach ensures that revenue is only reported when it is actually earned, not just when cash is received. It also protects the accuracy of your balance sheet by correctly stating what the business still owes. And that wraps up part 1 of our series on adjusting entries. The 5 entries we covered in this video ensures your financial statements reflect the correct timing of revenue and expenses, regardless of when cash is received or paid. They are the foundation of accrual accounting, and they are essential for maintaining compliance with GAAP and IFRS. In part 2, we will cover additional entries that address depreciation, bad debts, inventory adjustments, and other common end-of-period items that are often overlooked. If you find this video helpful, be sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on the notifications so you don't miss what's coming next. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in part 2.